Huskies in their home whites, Vermont in their road greens, champions of the America East. And Connecticut, another conference title in the Big East. AZ Fudd pulls up mid-range, the assist from Edwards. As we take a look at today's starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One, Emma Utterback is the one to watch. 14 points per game. She was the America East Tournament most outstanding player. She's number 23 in green with the basketball. This is a team that did not turn it over much. In fact, best in their conference. And that will be a big challenge today against the UConn pressure. Fuzz tried to pull up three in transition.
And Beth, this is where Vermont needs to steal some points. Get it off of long misses or turnovers and get some easy points in transition.
Their calling card has been their defense. They have some good three-point shooters on the offensive end of the floor. Anna Olsen is Dorka Juhas tips it to herself, and here comes Lou Lopez Seneschal, one of the top shooters for the Huskies. Edwards, Connecticut today, Christy has the big advantage inside.
And that big advantage is of Leah Edwards. She can beat you from deep, she can take you off the bounce, but there, just use her body for that great high-low pass.
Catamounts winners of 25 games this season. They are on a 17-game winning streak. Heading into the NCAA tournament, that was 5th best in the country coming into the weekend. Utterback on the drive, comes up a bit short, and here comes Connecticut again. Nika Mule, one of the top passers in the country, leaves it for Lopez Seneschal on the transition three. And the chants of Lou rain down from the home fans. Bellavito. They tried the lob inside to Richardson, and again, Juhas is there.
2 shots for Vermont in the paint. They rush both those finishes. You can tell the length of UConn already disrupting the Catamounts on offense.
Double comes on Edwards. That leaves the shooter available. Weak side, Lopez Seneschal, and a foul on the box out will go against the Catamounts. Their 4th-year head coach, Elisa Kresge, a former star player in her own right at Marist, played in a Sweet 16. And the America East Coach of the Year has really turned things around. Their first regular season championship this year since 2002.
You can't say enough. I still remember when Vermont was the bottom of the America East, and what Kresge has done in her staff is just truly remarkable. They're hanging their hat on their defense.
Mule defended by Utterback, and there's a tip pass, and the interception as Bellavito got in there. They know each other well. It's been the same starting 5 every game this year except for Senior Day.
And that you see already, that trap just blowing up the play, because that's one thing that the Catamounts do a lot, screen on the ball offense, and so far have gotten no advantage from it.
They got a kind roll there. Maria Michaelbust, the 6'1" sophomore from Norway. Fudd, the nice cut to the rim, denied. Edwards off the bounce, lost the handle, and it will head the other way. Gino Auriemma now in his 38th season, and so many remarkable statistics. The one a lot of folks talking about this postseason, Christy, is a 15th straight trip to the Final Four is on the line. They have been every year since 2007. Edwards gets the block. Second chance here for Vermont.
And I think traditionally Vermont would have gone up with that shot. But again, I think the length is already affecting the bigs of Vermont.
And Utterback took an extra step, and they turn it over as they were fighting the shot clock on that possession.
Beth, this is a Catamounts team who came in here very confident. respect UConn tremendously, but they're not backing down. They know what their style of play is. They knew what they needed to do, but they also knew it would be a tall task to get the win.
Edwards with an and one opportunity. And a good start for Connecticut.
We talked about how impactful Edwards is. Long shot, short rebound. She pursues from the top of the key. That's knowing your teammate. That's knowing misses. And that's where Leah Edwards is just so good.
Second personal foul on Richardson. So Aaliyah Edwards to the line, 77% free throw shooter. She was the most improved player in the Big East this year and capped it off by being named the most outstanding player in the Big East tournament when they wiped out the competition by an average margin of 20 points per game.
And Beth, we're already seeing one of the benefits of having 10 players now for UConn, extending into that full court pressure, not something we saw very much at all during the month of February and March.
Looking for an avenue. Nice slip of the screen, and the lay-in is good for Ari Dizon. And a foul at the other end going to be called on Ari.
Almost 30% of the offense for the Catamounts on the season. Screen on the ball, and there you see Edwards gets caught on Gilwee. Great pass to lead Dizon to the basket.
Yorka Duhas will get a couple of free throws here. The changing face of the game, right? Christy, this is a transfer out of the portal from Ohio State several years ago. And also originally from Hungary. There are 4 foreign players in the starting lineup today for Connecticut.
I had a discussion with Gino Auriemma a couple years ago, and he just talked about how he likes the maturity of foreign-born players, and you're seeing this throughout his roster here this season. And I really believe that's why this team stayed steadfast through all the injuries and illnesses throughout this season. Just a different level of maturity.
They lost 2 of their star players before the season even began due to injuries, including former National Player of the Year Paige Beckers and their star freshman Ice Brady. Nika Mule tracks down the rebound, the junior from Croatia. Boy, they are looking to get Edwards a touch every time up the floor. This is Dorka, got it off the window.
Well, Beth, beyond getting Edwards a touch, they're looking for the post out of transition. The post, both Dorka as well as Edwards doing a great job getting their body into the defenders right out of transition.
Middle back. Gives it up, an open look for 3, and that's rattled in by Michael Bust.
And that's what Vermont's going to have to do against UConn trapping or staying with that hedge. They do a lot of pick and pops. Their bigs have to be able to knock down the 3 here today.
Well, they have come in playing fearless. That's such a big thing initially against Connecticut. You can't be afraid of the jersey. And Vermont has been ready to go. Almost forced another turnover there.
Dorka Juhas has been steady for the Huskies. In transition, she's running the floor, seals her defender. Just nice kiss off the glass.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship on ABC is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Some of the winningest coaches in the postseason that are back for more this time around. Of course, the defending champs, Dawn Staley in South Carolina, looking to go back-to-back and win another one. It started for the Catamounts up in Burlington. Their trip down, I think, through Brattleboro, and then across the state line into Connecticut, down towards Hartford and over to Storrs, the America East champs. That 17-game win streak for Lisa Kresge. They started out the season with a loss to Indiana. They did not face a Power 6 opponent since that time until today, as Fudd is off the mark coming out of the timeout, but then Vermont turns it right back over.
Yeah, if you're Vermont, I don't think you want to try to outlet the ball in the middle of the floor.
It's already the third takeaway for the Connecticut defense. Fudd off the hesitation. Dorka tries for three, and another offensive rebound. Aaliyah Edwards will try and get it.
And that's an example of the growth of Aaliyah Edwards this season, known primarily for scoring around the rim. Mid-paint a year ago has worked on her range, and it has showed off in a big way this season.
She has doubled her scoring and her rebounding, the junior from Canada. A trap right near the sideline, and it will stay at this end.
But that was one thing in watching UConn's practice yesterday. They were just looking to blow up Vermont's plays because of just how much square on the ball actually they did, the ball reversals. And we've seen that already with so many traps.
Quarterback. Emma has started out 0 for 1, and Juhas gets the steal. Edwards the other way. Count it. And a foul. And a visit with the student section underneath the bucket as her mom applauds.
Well, if you're a post lover, you gotta love this. One big with a steal, passing it to Edwards in transition. Through the contact, into the camera, into the student section.
And that is the second foul on Dizon. So a couple of Catamounts with 2 fouls here in the first. As Caroline Ducharme checks into the lineup for Connecticut, and Leah Edwards to the stripe. Had to increase her responsibilities, and her role this year has embraced that opportunity with all the issues and injuries that they've had to go through, including her own. She broke her nose back in October and still wears the mask because she's gotten so comfortable with it. Triple is good from downtown. Paula Gonzalez, the freshman from Spain, who has her family in attendance watching her for the very first time in college. Edwards knocked loose from behind. Here's Nika Mule, drills the three.
And you're already seeing some benefits. We've seen the paint touches by the bigs, but how this defense is spread out just by AZ Fudd's presence on the floor for UConn.
You know, they talked about how that opens up the opportunities for other people. Now in her 4th game back with Connecticut. In and out, Edwards with the rebound. And Utterback fouls Mule, trying to prevent the outlet pass. The NCAA Women's Championship continues throughout the weekend. 1st and 2nd round coverage. The way to the national championship on April 2nd from Dallas. Every game is on the ESPN family of networks. For more information, go to ncaa.com. They're home for all 90 NCAA championships. Aubrey Griffin comes on to replace Juhas. Aubrey trying to bounce back from some back spasms she was suffering from in the Big East tournament.
She was pretty good yesterday. I mean, for someone who's been dealing with back spasms, she was moving effortlessly yesterday in practice.
Mule gets a couple, and for Vermont, Bellavito will check back in. This starting lineup for Vermont has been accounting for 80% of their scoring throughout the season. They rely heavily on those 5. So they may not have a whole lot of break time on the bench today.
Well, Beth, to this point in the game, Vermont with 10 points, all of those are coming from the bench.
Yeah.
This is a bench that, to your point, only averages 13 a game.
They have been called on early with the foul problems. Final minute and a half of this first quarter. And the opener for the NCAA tournament for both sides. First round action from Storrs, Connecticut. Ankle bust with the face up. Edwards able to bother the shot. And now UConn with the push.
UConn with the numbers.
Edwards, good find from Ducharme. Some full court again after the make. And that pass picked off. 3-on-1 opportunity. Fudd, Mule, Griffin, and a foul.
I bet pace of play for UConn so different than what we saw during the regular season. They're forcing turnovers, turning that into offense. Griffin just running the floor so good when she gets near the rim.
This looks a lot like the UConn teams of yore. They appreciate a good pass and a good delivery to a teammate just as much as a bucket. They've assisted on 8 of their 9 baskets. And they have already started to camp out on that free throw line. 6 of 7 here in the first quarter. Another calling card for all the great teams they've had here over the years.
About 34 games UConn has played. Coming in today, only 69 times that they pressed this season. That's what I'm saying. It is so different to have a full roster at Gino Auriemma's disposal today. We're seeing this with the pressure defense.
Yeah, they've got 10 healthy bodies over there to turn to. And Newell going to be whistled for the foul. Is that the first on Connecticut? Yes, it is.
And then for both these teams do not foul much throughout their season, so that's why it's so uncharacteristic the way Vermont has just been putting UConn on the free throw line so far this first quarter.
Quarterback Mule has really been a tough matchup. The Big East Defensive Player of the Year, so Utterback finds the mismatch with Mule and gets it inside to Olsen. Final seconds of the first quarter. And she walked with it, and a chance here for Vermont. And Gino talking to his point guard, hey, you shouldn't have given it up there. Run one play and get it into the hands of a shooter. Utterback, and that will come up short. 27-12. The 2 seed over the 15 seed here through the first 10 minutes. UConn's been able to get out and run the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. Back after a word from our ABC stations. And there's a look at that Greenville Regional 2, Indiana advancing. Villanova coming up later tonight on ESPNU. You got to check out Maddie Siegrist, leading scorer in the country for the Cats themselves, and Connecticut, who we have here, 2 of the 5 teams from the Big East that made the tournament this year. Great start for the Southeastern Conference, 6-0 to start the day, and now Tennessee's already won. Of course, Mississippi State has won twice, coming out of the play-in. South Carolina a winner, the overall #1 seed. The Gamecocks stay unbeaten. Caitlin Clark flirted with a triple-double for Iowa in their win. Here comes the double and a foul. Vermont so far, Christie just has not had an answer for the inside game.
No, and you can see now UConn wanting to make the extra pass to go over and in based on how the defense was playing. If Ducharme could have just delivered that pass a second earlier, I think UConn had an easy 2. And that's some of the chemistry that I was gonna say, that they just got to learn to play together right now. So many injuries this season, have not had 10 full bodies in practice for the better part of this year.
Ducharme knocks down the triple. Connecticut 12-2 run over the last 3.5 minutes, starting to open things up. Rutterback around and out. Newhouse with another rebound. Griffin in transition, no.
Well, one thing for Vermont, if they're not going to get on the offensive glass, they've got to get players back and solid in transition defense. Really lucky Griffin didn't convert that time in transition.
Connecticut continues to switch defensively. Lauterbach will try again. That one won't go. Already 6 rebounds for Dorka here in the first half. They're going to call an offensive foul, and if that's on Nika Mule, that is 2 on Connecticut's starting point guard.
Second foul on Mule, first team foul on the quarter. For the Huskies, number 35,
When I hear you, Gino's pretty tough on his point guards.
Well, he's had so many good ones over the years.
That's an understatement.
And Nika has set the new single-season assist record this year at Connecticut, so she's continuing the tradition.
We've talked about Uhas, we talked about Edwards, we talked about Lou's impact during this stretch with only 7 bodies, but I think Nika Mule has been the glue that has held this team together, as a point guard should.
It's going to be a foul called before the shot. There's a look at the single-season assist numbers. She just passed Sue Bird recently. And she has added a couple more, so over 260 now on the season. Of course, you know, guard play so important in the NCAA tournament. If you're going to get back to the Final Four, you need those guards.
And after the point guard, you need a post player.
Uhas, the 6'5" grad student from Hungary. All Big East tournament selection. Dorka averaged close to a double-double. Now to a 20-point Connecticut lead. Baseline drive, and there's Dorka with the swat. Doing it on both ends so far this afternoon.
Well, this is a connected Husky defense right now. Even when Vermont gets a step, team defense is there. Or more importantly, Dorka Uhas is there.
Kickball.
34 straight years in the NCAA tournament for the Huskies. The last 27 years, just remarkable numbers with the 11 national championships. Mule gets the strip and the lay-in. Showing us why she's the 2-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year.
I believe you got to be a little bit stubborn to be a great defender, and Nika Mule is that, and I mean that in the most complimentary way.
Couldn't knock down the 3. AZ Fudd with the rebound. Entry pass a little too hot, and out of bounds to Vermont.
Nika Mule averaging a steal and a half a game here with the pick. And just no one can catch her.
Edwards returns for Connecticut. Olsen comes back on for the Catamounts.
But this Vermont team in their America East Championship went through a lot of scoring droughts. They stayed true to it. We're seeing that now. They're staying true to their system. They just got to see that ball go through the net.
Just 25% shooting, only 5 baskets so far in the first half, and Edwards knocks another one down. Aaliyah is 6 for 6 with 14 points. She's also knocked down her 2 free throws.
Look at that, denying the pass, denying ball reversal for Vermont to get into their offense.
Banked in, a smile from Catherine Gilwee. That was the best 3-point shooting team in the America East, and Gilwee their top shooter. And again, UConn just immediately gets it into the lane.
Well, the problem right now is how deep the bigs for UConn are getting the ball. I mean, Vermont already undersized, and there's just nothing they can do when the bigs continue to catch it that close to the rim.
Yeah, their tallest is 6'1", and Connecticut has a handful of players taller than that. And a couple buckets in a row. That one's Michael Bust. She's been huge off the bench, 8 points. On the drive and a foul will get Lopez Seneschal to the line, the grad student from France.
Dorka Juhas just continues to be steady at a transition, seals her defender high. Easy lead for the two.
Thank you, El. Well, the Huskies of honor here at UConn. So many familiar names and numbers up there. That's a good reminder. The Burden Taurasi Show returning to the Final Four in Dallas Friday night, March 31st, and then championship Sunday afternoon. It's the Bird and Taurasi Show at the Final Four.
Do you even need to say show? Because I think if you just say Bird Taurasi, people want to watch.
It's a show.
Exactly.
Yeah. Got the red Solo Cups, got their fantastic senses of humor. A part of one of the great teams in the history of the game, those late 90s, early 2000s UConn teams for Gino Auriemma. Another takeaway. Lopez Seneschal with the lay-in. I mean, they've been getting everything. Christie, points off of turnovers, fast break points, points in the paint.
So they're playing UConn Husky style, postseason style of basketball right now.
Yep. Utterback gets her first clean look of the game.
The unrelenting pressure that we have seen in this game, and that's just an unforced turnover, but UConn there to pounce on it. Lou with the finish.
Under 5 to go in the first half. Connecticut shooting 71% in the game. And Dorka will add to that. So much of it's been coming around the rim as they continue to take advantage of the size and the quickness.
Gino Auriemma, before the Big East play, challenged both Dorka Juhas as well as Aaliyah Edwards and said, we have to ride you. You have to carry us. And those two have responded during the Big East tournament, and they have continued here in the first round of this tournament.
Azzi Fudd with the rebound. Her minutes increased each game of the 3 she played in the Big East tournament, and her return to action. Kicks it out to Edwards, and Aaliyah stays perfect. She's 7 for 7 here in the half. And they've now assisted on 13 of their 17 buckets.
And it's fresh bodies. It's playing off their defense. It's playing together where they're getting such high percentage looks. Why the assist numbers are up.
3 ball short. That's up for grabs. Lopez Seneschal has it, running with Griffin. She'll attack the rim. Short on the first, not on the second.
Well, Catherine Gilway just stayed at the three-point line when that ball was in the air, and Lou went after it and got it, which is how UConn was able to get out in transition.
The face-up. That won't go from Michael Bust. Good scrap for the loose ball, but the Huskies have it. Lou leaves it off for Fudd. Edwards able to tip it, and it's Catamount basketball.
I bet some people might be like, how in the world is Azzi Fudd so wide open? Well, it's because the bigs run the floor so hard for UConn, which pulls all that transition defense to the rim. Azzi Fudd just wide open. Unfortunately, couldn't knock it down.
She's 1 for 5 today, 0 for 4 from downtown. Richardson. They are just struggling to get space to get their shots up. with the length of Connecticut defensively.
Well, when you can switch 1 through 5, which is what we're seeing UConn do, you can't get an advantage, and the slip hasn't been there because they've come together on those switches.
Griffin rejected. Good block by Gonzalez. And an offensive foul going to be called on Utterback.
Paula Gonzalez at 5'11" becomes her own rim protector for the Catamounts, and they get out and running. But the family isn't enjoying the tail end of that play.
Jorge Miriam Carlotta making the trip over from Spain. First time they've seen their daughter since August. And coming in to watch her NCAA appearance. Lopez Seneschal gets a kind roll. Quick counter. Utterback with the lay-in for Vermont.
And I love that. Strike before the defense gets set. You struggled in the half court. Don't go against it. Transition game.
Edwards to the rim. Aaliyah Edwards. Dominant first half performance. She's 8 for 8 from the floor.
We've seen her from 16 feet. We've seen her rebound putback. We've seen her post up. We've seen her with the drive. Explosive drives where weak side can't even get there in time to stop her.
Final minute of this first half. The 50-burger up on the board already for the Huskies. Richardson. Ducharme fouled on the shot. Taking full advantage of the comforts of home. I mean, it has been extraordinary. Connecticut, they've been so good for so long, they are able to stay close to home to play in the tournament. Reminder, the men's championship second round continues today on CBS, TBS, and TNT. For more information, go to ncaa.com. All 4 of the schools here. We've got Baylor and Alabama coming up next. They have both their men's and women's programs in the NCAA tournament. The only bracket in both men's and women's to boast of that. Shot clock is off. And Edwards had the steal, and now Connecticut. Fudd launches, good if it goes. And a big first half for UConn. They shoot 69% and assist on 14 of their 20 buckets for the 53-20 lead as we get you back to Elle and the crew in the studio. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One. First round action from Storrs, Connecticut, and the 2-seed UConn, the 15-seed Vermont. And an impressive first half for the Huskies. Beth Mullins alongside Christy Thomas-Scuddy. They dominated, taking advantage inside.
Absolutely. Game plan, pure and simple. Get low post touches, run in transition, and UConn has executed to the highest degree.
Let's check out our thrilling drives from today's game, brought to you by Nissan. And a perfect first half for Aaliyah Edwards.
Absolutely, and it has been the defense of UConn. They have 7 steals. They have forced Vermont to play at a pace they're not comfortable with. The post-to-post transition bucket. Rebecca Lobo somewhere loving this action.
Edwards 8 for 8 in the first half. Dorka Juhas was 4 for 5, so their post players dominant. There's your shot chart. And noteworthy that they all went in. The NCAA tournament record, by the way, is 11 for 11 in a single game. 12 of the 20 baskets for Connecticut have come in the paint as they enjoy their largest halftime lead of the season. And a lot of work ahead for Vermont if the Catamounts want to try and fight their way back into this one. Winner here will play in a couple of days against the winner of Baylor, Alabama, the 10-7 matchup.
And as well as you played, if you're UConn in that first half, it's not the way you want to start this third quarter. Illegal screen called on Aaliyah Edwards.
They have only committed 3 fouls in the game. 2 of them have been setting screens on the offensive end. Nika Mule was the only Husky to foul in that first half. Meanwhile, they converted 10 of 12 free throws at the other end. Same starting 5s are out there for both sides. Here's Gilwee. Catherine off the bounce. Pass into traffic. And a turnover and then given right back. And a missed chippy inside for Bellavito. Juhas kicks it back out to Mule. Offensive rebound. Edwards 9 for 9.
Sorry, but what I was going to say is you're already seeing one adjustment by Vermont. They're going to double the low post.
Got to try something to stem the tide. Quarterback gets inside, goes to the left hand. That won't go for Emma. Juhas able to scoop it up. Nice backdoor cut. Juhas assisted by Edwards. Oh, their passing game has just been on point today. Assisting on 15 of 22 buckets. And a steal. Here's AZ Fudd. Mule unattended. Weak side rebound of Vito. She's got her head up the other way. A touch for Delaney Richardson, the senior from Zionsville, Indiana, to her running mate, another Indiana native, Utterback out of Greenwood. They've been playing together for 99 straight games in the green and gold. Easy foot off the mark. Lopez Seneschal went down awkwardly. And the last thing that Connecticut fans want to see, it's been happening to them all year long, and Lopez Seneschal trying to shake it off. Reached for the right knee initially. Her foot gets caught up on Mule's foot. And she will walk back into the VOM to get some attention from the athletic trainers. Ducharme may have gotten away with a walk there. Edwards, offensive rebound and one. Aaliyah Edwards is 10 for 10 in the game.
Every opposing coach will say, you gotta box out Aaliyah Edwards. And you just can't stay vertical with her. You can't. You have to push her out of the arc. She's too strong, too quick off the floor.
6 offensive rebounds for 11 second chance points today for Connecticut. Oh, and the first miss from the free throw line for Edwards. She had seen 12 straight shots hit the bottom of the net from the floor and from the line. Richardson tries for 3. Well, as they continue to tend to Lopez Seneschal, of course, it all started in August with the knee injury to Paige Beckers. Then in October, the patella injury to Ice Brady. Fudd hit a stretch of 32 minutes played in 3 months. In January and February, Ducharme was concussed. Dorka had a thumb injury. It's been an endless stream of issues. Ducharme from Dorka. that also included off the court the passing of Gino Auriemma's mother. There was a feigning spell in one of their pre-games for assistant coach Chris Daly. She ended up being okay. But it's just been one thing after the other for the Huskies, and finally all together as Utterback knocks down the three. And Lou tries to work it out on the bike.
And that's why the UConn players, Beth, to your point, have said they're ready for March. If they can get through the regular season and everything that's occurred, they know they're tough enough, and now with 10 bodies, they're ready to make a run.
Juhas goes over the back, her first. Lou is in her first season here at Connecticut after transferring from Fairfield and looking for the challenge, and found a home here at Connecticut. All Big East selection. And one of their top shooting threats. And it looks like she may try and come back into the game. She returns to the Connecticut bench.
That's one thing for Vermont that I'm seeing this half. They have slowed down. I thought they were trying to be too fast in that first half, trying to be faster than UConn, so they weren't setting screens, executing so much better this half.
Ducharme, the transition triple assisted by Mule. And a timeout called by the Catamounts. 5:15 to go here in the third, and it's all UConn.
Dancing shoes. Oh, get down, turn around, go to town, boot scoot,
NCAA Championship Final Four weekend in Dallas, March 31st. Continuing into the championship Sunday, April 2nd. Every game on the ESPN networks. For more info, go to NCAA.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships. 14 years in a row to the Final Four for Connecticut. The last time they didn't make it, 2007. They lost to LSU and Sylvia Fowles out in Fresno, California. This will be the first time since then that they will head west for a regional. With the new format, there will be 2 brackets in Greenville, South Carolina, and 2 brackets in Seattle. And UConn would be headed to Seattle if they advance out of Stores here in the first and second rounds.
But all I'll say is, for all the woes from injuries this year for UConn, defense travels. And this is still a great defense that's taking it up a notch here this afternoon as well.
Winner of this one would face the winner of Baylor, Alabama. That's the second game here in Stores. What a give and go. Textbook execution for UConn. Ducharme and Juhas, and all the frontline players are passing the ball well today.
I bet that was a great example of how the floor was just spread. If you're going to play screen on the ball defense, you got to have weak side there, and it wasn't for Vermont.
That's the second time she's banked one in. That's Catherine Gilwey, the sophomore from Shelburne, Vermont, the only Vermonter in the regular rotation, about 15 minutes away from campus. That's where she grew up. Edwards, that's going to be a 3-second violation. We'll take the timeout with the teams. 4:08 to go in the third.
Welcome back to Stores, where the offense for the Huskies been on full display because the court has just been opening up. Here, screen on the ball, dribble handoff by Dorka Juhas, and you see here 1 defender, 2 defender, 3 defender, 4 defenders, all focused on the ball handler. She takes it 1 step deeper. No one takes the roller. Dorka for the easy 2 at the rim.
That makes it 18 assists on 26 field goals. And they're coming from all over the place. Edwards with 5 assists, Mule with 5 assists, Dorka with 4. It has been a potent attack. shooting better than 60% on the game. Meanwhile, at this end, Vermont has started to pick it up from downtown, Christie. They'll try again and get it blocked. Take it right back. They've been effective dialing it up from downtown. 4 in the first half and already 4 here in the quarter. They'll try again. Oh, in and out. Gonzalez had a beat on that. Fudd tries the backdoor cut and kicks it out to Edwards. And Aaliyah Edwards with her first miss from the field. She had hit her first 10 shots today.
Beth Owens, you're just greedy. You're just disappointed right now. You're just greedy.
So close to the record is 11 for 11. That's happened on 3 separate occasions in NCAA tournament history. Final 3 minutes of this third quarter. And they're well short on that attempt.
But I will compliment Vermont right now. I think their pace on offense has been so much better coming out of halftime. They've had some ball reversals. They've gotten the good looks. Just the last 2 trips haven't been able to convert.
Boy, it's great to see, too, a former player in this tournament and now coming back to coach in this tournament as Edwards gets back on track. And Aaliyah with 24, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists today. Gilwey just inside the line and short.
Substitutions for the Panthers.
Edwards just continues to use her body, do the work before she even gets the ball. And that's why these finishes have looked so easy. She seals off the paint for the easy score.
Gino making some substitutions. 27 years since that first championship in 1995. And in 27 years in the postseason, they have only been beaten by 9 schools. That's it. 2 of them are in their bracket, Iowa State and Tennessee. Fudd rattles one in. On the drive, Otterback with a nice scoop between 2 defenders for the basket.
Just got the impression that Otterback couldn't wait to play in front of this crowd. She said, I don't like a quiet gym.
Edwards again off the bounce, 26 points. She's 12 for 13 in the game. Emma trying back-to-back and now starting to heat up.
Well, UConn's gone big now on the offensive end. 2 plays ago, they were trying to get Dorka the ball down low, and it didn't matter because Fudd knocked it down.
Back to Dorka, the nice no-look from Mule. They continue to dominate on the block.
Well, and that's an example of they knew smaller player was on Dorka there. Screen and roll, just throw it up high.
Their 2 bigs are 19 for 22 in the ballgame. And have combined for 41 points and 17 rebounds. Pull-up is good. Short corner, Gonzalez.
And Beth, 10 assists to go on to the praise for the bigs of UConn.
Mule on the drive. Fudd off the fake. And now Otterback on the run. Gets to the left side and is fouled. And that'll be the 3rd on Mule.
You just got the impression Otterback at half court was going to take that ball. Did not matter. And she went right at Nika Mule to draw that 3rd foul.
2 shots.
She was their tournament MOP, all first-teamer, led the league in assists, as Fudd and Mule get a nice ovation as they depart. And some smiles over there with Lou Lopez Seneschal. Lou, by the way, has not come back on the floor since injuring her leg earlier. May just be precautionary. And the turnover will give Vermont 3 seconds to work with.
Going to be shocked if UConn didn't extend this pressure a little bit just to make Vermont eat some clock.
Michael Bust. 75-41.
Aaliyah Edwards has been everything for UConn. Off the glass, another 2 for the big.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship on ABC is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? What's in store for the 2 regional sites this year? Greenville, South Carolina, and the beautiful sites there of Seattle, Washington. That is the bracket that we find ourselves in. Seattle 3, which would be, if you've got your bracket at home, the lower right-hand side. Winner of this one faces the winner of Baylor and Alabama. That game will be coming up next over on ESPN2. There are your top 4 seeds, with UConn the 2 seed behind Virginia Tech, Ohio State, and Tennessee, both winners today. Been a fabulous season for Virginia Tech, champions of the Atlantic Coast Conference. They have a terrific starting 5, great 6th player off the bench. They've got tremendous role players, and they've got one of the best point guards and best bigs in all of college basketball for the Hokies, as they look to make history and get to the Final Four for the first time. But likely that all roads will run through Connecticut. The Huskies have been there 14 years in a row. Inside Edwards, a rare miss. They have been a #1 or #2 seed 26 of the last 27 years. They've been on top.
I'm not sure if you realize when you started that whole thing about Seattle 3, you said what's in store for everyone.
STOOR.
I thought that's where you were going with it. I'm just saying.
You know how I love to turn a phrase, even when I don't know it. And one, Ducharme. Well, the Huskies trying to close it out after Vermont had their best quarter in that 3rd quarter. Trying to get back in it.
Yeah, absolutely. They started lightening up from 3, 4 of 10 in that 3rd quarter, finding that offensive flow. But unfortunately for them, they've got to start getting some stops on defense to get back in this game.
Dozen points now for Caroline. The story today, the dominant frontline play for Connecticut. They've been scoring in the paint. They've been scoring off of turnovers, on fast breaks. A little bit of everything, Scotty.
As every big should, the 2 bigs, Uhas as well, Edwards, 41 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists, 6 steals.
Who says it's a guards game? Oh, the spin in the lane. Hard off the window. Patterson going to work. Active hands from Mule. Utterback, picked off. Here comes Nika running with Edwards. Found her. Up and in. Aaliyah Edwards, 28 and a new career high. And a timeout, Vermont. The big girl running the floor. She's 13 of 15 on the afternoon.
Gino Auriemma told his point guard today, lead your post, but no further than the free throw line. Why? Because she is sprinting. She needs time to catch and continues to finish for the Huskies.
Time for today's Capital One rewarding performance, and it's a career-high performance.
Well, you want to save your best for the big-time show, and that's what Aaliyah Edwards has done. She's done it in transition, off the bounce. She's done it in the half court by just burying her defenders consistently. She's finished right. She's finished left. She has been explosive off the bounce. Vermont has just had no answers for Aaliyah Edwards.
Look at the numbers. 13 of 15 from the floor, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Her day may be done, as Gino now has 3 of his starters over there on the sideline. 6'3" junior had her way in the paint today for Connecticut as they look to advance to the second round and continue enjoying the home court advantage. You know, in the women's game, when you win, you get to stay at home for the first and second rounds as a high seed. They have won 48 straight games in the NCAA tournament when playing in the Northeast. They haven't lost near home since Duke came in here and beat them in Bridgeport in 2006.
Pretty good odds if you're a Husky fan.
That's pretty good, yeah.
But I want to go back to Edwards' numbers. I just think it's a difficult matchup when you have Dorka Juhas and Edwards on the floor together. Two versatile players, can spread the floor, so good off the bounce, so good in so many different ways at scoring as we see Juhas go to work.
Got to beat the buzzer. And they do. Patterson. That is 24 assists on 34 buckets today for Connecticut.
That's 46 paint points for the Huskies.
Jumper is good. Michael Bust has been big off the bench. The sophomore from Norway. She's the third now into double digits, joining Gilwey and Utterback. Ines Betancourt is into the ball game as well here for the Huskies. Mule on the drive. Nika's working out a double-double. 9 points, 8 assists. Ducharme. And she'll push to get the 4-on-3 advantage. Patterson, layup. And another assisted bucket on the break.
And another post player scoring for the Huskies in transition. Patterson's like, hey, wait a minute, I want in on this party. Beth, 8 times this season, Vermont has shot better from 3 than they have inside the arc. And that continues with a 9th game here this afternoon.
Richardson dropping it in from downtown.
Catamount shooting 37% from 3 overall inside the arc, much lower at this point. Just spot up and shoot it.
Yeah, they've had 5 different players knock one down from deep. Here comes Bellavito. Looking for Utterback. Behind the back. And a foul. That'll be the 4th personal foul on Vito as Dorka Juhas checks out, perhaps for the final time. 15 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow on ABC, the action will start at 1 o'clock with undefeated South Carolina and National Player of the Year Aaliyah Boston. And we'll follow that up with the Iowa Hawkeyes and All-American Caitlin Clark. That's the 1 o'clock game and then the 3 o'clock game tomorrow. Second round coverage. Boom! Betancourt, the freshman from Portugal. Mule now 9 points, 9 assists. Another 3-ball. And the rebound for Amari DeBerry.
And Beth, we're saying that Gino Auriemma is going to his bench, but these are all players on the floor right now that during that stretch run, there was only really 7 bodies played major minutes for the Huskies.
DeBerry. Quarterback. And the bump and the foul out top. The seniors, by the way, are still in that extra COVID year window. So decisions will be made after the conclusion of the season for some of these Vermont upperclassmen. As Gino ponders the situation. Winningest coach in NCAA tournament history. Richardson, nope. Patterson, no. DeBerry, offensive rebound, yes. Timeout, Vermont. Everybody getting involved for Connecticut. Well, we talked a moment ago about the Iowa Hawkeyes. They will also be out in Seattle. They're in the Seattle 4 bracket. They will face Georgia tomorrow afternoon on ABC. Also on that side is the number 1 seed in that region, the Stanford Cardinal. But Caitlin Clark almost messed around and got a triple-double yesterday in their first round win. 26, 12, and 7 boards. Her scoring and assists, both top 3 in D1.
But I'm going to correct you on something. There's never any messing around when it comes to Caitlin Clark. I'm eager to see that game tomorrow. The defense of Georgia and their 3-2 matchup versus that high-scoring offense of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
That was my Ice Cube reference. Today was a good day.
I'm just not cool enough to hang with you.
From the UConn side. Nice bounce for Vermont. And Maria Michael bust. What a year it has been for the Catamounts. 25-6. And champions once again of the America East. They were riding a 17-game win streak into the NCAA tournament. Hadn't lost since January. And so many wonderful moments and memories for Lisa Kresge, who once played in this NCAA tournament. Once went to the Sweet 16 as a Cinderella with Marist in 2007. There's a look at her in action. They shocked Ohio State as a 13 seed in the first round that year. They bowed out to eventual national champion Tennessee in the Sweet 16. Elisa with her mates, Julianne Vianney, Rachel Fitz, Meg Dahlman. Their head coach, Brian Georges, is in the house tonight, supporting his former charge.
And Beth, you got to believe that this is what Elisa Kresge is building here at Vermont. What I love is the community in Burlington completely embracing and supporting this team. The last couple of games of the season, just sellouts, their incredible atmosphere. It's what these young ladies deserve.
Yeah, their athletic director, Jeff Schulman, really making the commitment, paying off in a big way. Final 2 minutes here for Connecticut. as they prepare to move on to the second round. They have not suffered a first-round loss since 1993. And that trend will continue. Berry to Betancourt. That's a big problem for the rest of this bracket if the front line plays the way they did today for UConn.
54 paint points for UConn. And Beth, it's one thing to have size. It's another thing to utilize it and execute. And that's what we saw from UConn here this afternoon.
Wholesale substitutions coming on. The quick timeout for Vermont to get their starting unit off the floor. Bellavito, Catherine Gilwey, Anna Olson, and the two seniors from Indiana, Emma Utterback and Delaney Richardson. A 25-win season and a championship ring to show for it out of the America East. As they return to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2010. And the trend will continue. A 15 seed still has never beaten a 2 seed in tournament history. And the 2 seed will advance here in Storrs. And the Huskies will get ready for Baylor or Alabama in the second round. .95-52 your final.
Shot clock violation.
And a career high for Aaliyah Edwards today for Connecticut. 28 points on 13 of 15 shooting from the floor. And the Big East champions move on. Edwards with 28. Haas with a double-double, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Ducharme in double digits. And 10 assists today for Nika Mule. 95-52 your final. Baylor and Alabama later on the Deuce as we get you back to the studio. Well,